Good evening, Malaysia, and good morning, USA. Welcome to the TOT Talk Show. Rick, can you say something
Good evening,
to make
Malaysia.
sure that you're on?
Good evening, Malaysia, and also good morning, USA. How's everyone doing?
It is such a wonderful day, right? And this is the second time we are doing the TOT Talk Show, right?
That's right. This is our second live monthly talk show.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of problem here. Why? Because my house, if you can hear, the what do you call this? The rain is really disturbing me. So, to all you guys out there, can you just give me 1 second? Let me put on a headphone so that I can hear you better, Rick, and also hear everybody better. I can't do this without the headphone now. You know, I thought I can. But it is raining, really raining badly outside. So give me 1 minute. This is a live show, and you can see I'm putting up my Bose headphone now, and just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so hopefully it cuts off. Yeah. Can you hear me, Rick?
I can hear you well.
Yeah. Also, okay, welcome to the TOT Talk Show. So if the audience can hear us, can you just press number 1 and say hi to us? Hi. You know, it is great to have about 50 people now watching us live. We hope that you cross over 200, 300, 400 at the end of the show. If you can hear us clearly, can you just press 1 and show us that you can hear us clearly? All right? Okay. Michael say yes. Hi, Tracy. Tracy say yes. You can hear us clearly. Rashida say hi. Yes. Welcome to the show. Bantan say yes. They can hear us clearly. All right. So now I just want to let everybody know, why are we doing the TOT Talk Show? After the first show, you know, there's quite a lot of people ask me, hey, you guys have nothing better to do. You guys could have go out and sell more policy. Why are you taking 1-2 hours of your time and doing rehearsal and this on, and to come in and talk about your career, you know, and your business and all that for everybody to learn. So let us just give you the idea. Rick, would you tell our audience why are we doing this?
The reason why we want to do this is I believe we want to provide a bigger impact than we're currently providing. I think especially due to COVID-19, the environment for financial professionals have changed. And Lim, you and I spoke a few months ago, how can we give back? How can we help others? And how can we serve our community? So this is us trying to help more people so that we can do the right thing and be better.
Yes, that's the exact thing that we are doing. And also, Rick and I has a common goal, is that we think Asia, we think the next generation of MDRT, COTs, and TOTs should come from Asia. We think the next generation of COT, TOTs, you know, we should have a bigger representations of Asians speaking on MDRT main platform, right? To be sharing our ideas and all that. And that is why we are doing this, is to help you, the fellow insurance practitioner, so that you would do well in your business, right? We don't ask for any returns. All we ask from you is to just share this program out to as many people as possible, those you think that will benefit from this, right, Rick?
Agree. You know, many months ago, Lim, you told me how many TOT qualifiers come from Asia. And to be frank, it was very disappointing to me. I was very surprised. So as a TOT member, if you and I can air this every month and we can increase the amount of TOT qualifiers, that'll be extremely impactful, and that's what we want.
Yeah, some of the guys says hi. Let us just be a nice host and say hi back to them. Mickey Lee says hi. Hi, Mickey. So
Hi, Mickey.
We have Corinne, my friend here. Corinne is a trainer from AIA. Even a trainer from AIA is watching the show. She could have just relaxed at home, you know, and enjoy herself, right? Rashida, say hi. Say hi to Rashida. Let's just take a little bit of time to say hi to everybody who came to our show. Jeremy, say hi. You know. Wow, Fatima, say, wow, I got greetings from Mr. Lim. Wow, it's okay. You know, I'm just normal. All right, Rick, say hi to Fatima. Let her be flattered.
Hi, Fatima. Hi, everyone.
Rashida say hi, Rick. Right, so these are some of. So if you have anything to ask us in the middle of the show, please do put it down in the comment button. We will show it up there as it is, so that we can answer your question. So this is how we're going to do it. The first 20 minutes, we're going to talk about the 3 main things that we did wrong during earlier on our career, and the next 20 minutes, we're going to talk about the 3 things that we're going to do right if we go back in time and start all over again. Right? So Rick, how many years have you been in the business?
I've been in the business 14 years now. I started when I was 21 years old. How about you, Lim?
I started when I was 9. Nah. I started when I was 22, when I was in university. I started as a part-time agent, and this is the 21st, I think the 21st year I'm in the business. So I am 40, I'm 44 already. So I've done this for 22 years. Okay. So I've done this full-time about 18 years when I was 25. And it has been an amazing career, right? Have you regretted joining the business, Rick?
Every single day of my life. I'm kidding. So I had a lot of regrets in the beginning. I always wondered, should I have gone into a different field, maybe help my family with their company and business? But I can proudly share with you, there's never been a regret. As a matter of fact, having the opportunity to do what we do has given me greater opportunity. So for example, I've invested in tech companies. I'm currently investing in a private jet company. And I also invest in a lot of real estate. But the fact that we do what we do, it affords us the financial independence and time to do other amazing things.
Right.
What about you? Have you had any regrets?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in 20 minutes of our time, right? So not so, yeah. Anyway, Rick, if you guys listen carefully, Rick has upgraded his mic. Rick, show us your mic.
Sure.
Let us see.
Let
us see your mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't see it. Okay. Yeah. All this is for your benefit. Rick spent $300, $100 or $200, right? Buying a Rode mic just like this. No, it's better than this. And so that you can hear clearly. Why are we doing that, Rick? It is because, and to all the audience out there, we are doing that so that we can capture a amazing audio quality for your what do you call this, a review next time. If you want to watch this video again and again, it's up to you. It's all on Imminent Live. Just go ahead and watch it again and again. But more importantly, this is what we're going to do in the next 3 months. This is a surprise, Rick. I purposely did this. I didn't tell you up front, right? Let me just show you, right? Hey, where is it? Sorry. It is here. Okay, we are going to gather all these shows and make it to the TOT TalkShow podcast. Why are we doing this? Rick, we discussed about that. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing the TOT podcast, Rick?
Because for the viewers that are unable to watch us live or watch it on Facebook or YouTube, we want them to be able to listen to us. So maybe like snippets and content while they're driving, while they're running, working out. Just another platform to provide more information and share with others.
Yeah, this is our way to give back to the MDRT world, to the insurance world. We have taken so much from MDRT, and we have taken so much and learned so much from this community. At the end of the day, whoever that is listening to this, we will wish you that at the end of the year, you become MDRT. If you're already MDRT, COT, and ahead. Come on, be TOT, right? And be proud of yourself and do the ultimate goal, okay? So now, one more thing I ask the audience to do for us. If you like us so much and you're watching, can you just click the share button? Can you just kindly click the share button and share it out to all your friends on Facebook so that they know that they can learn something. Even your salesman, whatever, whoever, just share it out to everybody, all right? Okay? So let's go.
Lim, I do want to mention many of the viewers from Malaysia, Indonesia, Hong Kong,
yes,
China, many Asian countries. I've never met you in person, but they were very kind by adding me on Facebook, liking our content, I'm very impressed based on your viewers and how kind they are. So that's why one of the best things that I am excited about is just helping people that I've never met in person. So thank you all for last month's likes, adding me on Facebook, and all the other things, and which makes us even more excited to come back with even better content. And that's what we commit and promise you.
Right. That's why we are committed to do this every month, right? Right. I have friends that ask me, why not do it every week? I say, come on, that's asking a bit too much, right? But every month we give you 2 hours of content, and we're going to put it in the podcast. Like our podcast, we're going to share, we're going to edit everything, and you will see, use the podcast content when you're driving. When you're driving, so you can actually, on the podcast, so that you can listen to us, and also you will learn something, right, when you're driving. So why waste the driving half an hour, 45 minutes, and listening to radio? You can listen to the TOT Talk Show. Learn something every week and every day, right? So,
yep.
So Rick, let's go to the show, and enough of saying hi to everybody, right? So now, today we will share about our mistakes in our early years, and the top 3 things that we will do today if we start all over again as new advisors, okay? So Rick, what is that number 1 mistake you make, in your earlier years in your career?
The last 14 years, I've made countless mistakes. If I were to put a dollar amount on these mistakes, it would probably have cost me millions of US dollars. But if I had to pinpoint one mistake, is simply not understanding our business, not truly understanding our business. What I mean by that is it's not about working hard. It's about understanding the formulas and ratios. Let me explain. I used to think as a new advisor that if I make a lot of appointments, I see a lot of people, everyone will work with me. I used to think 10 referrals I receive, I will meet 10 people, and I will have 10 clients, which is unrealistic. See, the results are unpredictable, but the process and ratios are actually quite predictable. There's been studies done where statistically, did you all know that every 10 referrals you receive, 5 of them will actually schedule an appointment with you. So 50%.
Okay.
Out of those 5 that schedule an appointment with you, statistically, 3 of them on average will actually meet with you, either face-to-face or speak with you. And then approximately 1 of them will become your client. Many of the MDRT friends have heard this as the Grandom system, 10, 5, 3, 1.
Yep.
Now,
I've heard that before, yeah.
Yep. So if you're a new advisor and you think 10, 10, 10, 10, then you're going to be sadly disappointed, and you're not really understanding what it means to bring results in this career. It's like cooking a cake, right? You need to know the ingredients. But not only do you need to have the ingredients to make an amazing, delicious cake, you also need to know the temperature. You also need to know how long you should be putting the cake in the oven. So over the years, my first 2 years, I did not understand the ratios and system. But by my 3rd year, when I understood the ratio and system, I had MDRT for the first time. And what I would share with all the viewers is when you get really, really good at understanding these ratios, today, my ratios is every 10 individuals we are referred to, 8 of them on average will meet with us. 8 of them will schedule an appointment, 7 of them will meet with us, and 6 of them will become our clients. So the 10 is still the same, but instead of 5, 3, 1, we were able to increase these ratios from 10, 8, 7, 6. So understanding the ratios, understanding the process and how to onboard your clients is very important. And that's one of the mistakes I early on did not understand, and I wish I did. What about you, Lim? What is one of your mistakes early in your career?
Now, Rick, I'm interested at what you're saying just now. Now, I'm sitting and learning from you. How did you do from 5, 3, 2, 1 to 10, 7, 10, 8, 7, 6? That is
Great.
amazing, right? What is
Sure,
your process?
I'll answer.
Tell us, what is your
Great
process
question.
of doing that?
Now, the reason it used to be 10 and 5, so 10 referrals, 5 people we will actually connect with and schedule a meeting, is because as soon as our clients go through our process and enjoy it, they might refer us hypothetically 10 referrals, but we're not explaining to our clients before we call the referrals that they introduce us to what their referrals will be expecting. So therefore, our clients are not teeing up that connection. So what we've done is saying, hey, I know you want to refer us, Lim, to your good friend, John. But before I call John, is it okay for you to give John a heads up? Is it okay for you to maybe introduce us through email? Maybe introduce us through WhatsApp, introduce us through WeChat. So you're actually connecting us so that when we reach out to the people you refer us to, the statistical odds are much higher. So that's how I went from 10-5 to 10-8. Now, there's always going to be people that we get introduced to that may or may not have the time to sit down with us. And that's okay, whether timing is not right or just there are other priorities in their life that are more important. So therefore, that's why the 5 becomes 3, but our 8 becomes 7. Because if you connect us through WhatsApp, WeChat, through email, the referral process is a lot stronger. And by the time I do speak with them, they will understand what to expect. And the reason why the 10-5-3 and it ends up at 1 is because when you go through the entire process, you may or may not be as efficient as you should be. But the reason why we're 8-7-6, because when the 7 meetings we had, 6 become clients because our process has evolved tremendously the last 10 years.
All right.
Once again, I don't sell, I educate. So our process is very unique. So to answer your question, Lim, what about your experience? What is one of the mistakes that you experienced early in your career?
Yeah, the one mistake, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. One regret I have in my life is that I did not join early enough. Means I did not join the business early enough, right? So let's just put it this way. I've joined the business when I was 22, 23, but I didn't take it very seriously. So the first 2 years or 1 year, I was just fooling around, selling small cases and all that. I didn't see the money. I was in universities. So I could have done better. I could have done a lot better if I could have just focused a bit more in the business and listen to my boss, don't fool around too much, and really go for it, So I think that is one thing that I could have done better. That is start the business early and be really interested in it earlier. So if you ask me, when I joined the business at 23, my mother asked me, why out of all business you want to join insurance? You have nothing else better to do. But retrospectively looking back, now she asked me, why did you join so late when you were 23? You have joined the business when you're 18, Once you old enough, you could have joined, since you're so good at it. But in retrospectively, I think if you have the chance, for everybody outside, if you are a newcomer or somebody just send you this link to watch this show, anybody at all, if you're new to the business, if you're still deciding whether to join this business or not, never listens to those who fail in the business, but always listens to those who have made it. Because people who have never done it will never tell it is possible. That's my thing. I would say if I could have joined earlier, I would have joined. I've get it done when I was, say, as you say, when I was 18. Say hi to Sadiq Dinari, another TOT. Hi, Sadiq.
Hi, Sadiq.
Sadiq is another TOT with us, right? So sorry about that. Just now we have a bit of a hiccup, but now we are back, right? So let's go on with the show, right? So we're going to end at 10 o'clock as scheduled, okay? So now, Rick, what is the second mistake that you did in your early years?
Well, there are many mistakes. If you don't mind, just because there was a little bit of an outage shortage, why don't we just go straight into the top 3 mistakes? And now, if we go back into time, let's go straight into giving the viewers some advice. Right. And then I think we discussed, we want to go straight into Q&A questions and answers and maybe the phone call round like we did last time.
Yeah. So let's do that. So what is the number one thing you would do if give it back in time?
Sure. So what I would do if I can go back into time, which I can't, but for many of your viewers that are new into business or haven't already done this, is hiring good staff, hiring good teammates early in your career. Now, you have to understand, when we decided to come into this industry, before we decided to be whether an insurance agent, a financial advisor, or a wealth management advisor, we decided to be an entrepreneur. Now, there's a difference between an entrepreneur and what I call a wantrepreneur. What is the difference? Now, an entrepreneur understands that the opportunity is truly unlimited, but they understand what is their worth and their value and what they should do and shouldn't do. So I'll give you an example. An entrepreneur may say, I want to hit MDRT. Now, MDRT in America is around 100,000 FYC. Okay. So if you were trying to hit 100,000 FYC, that's about $50 US dollar per hour. That's your revenue, your income. Now, should you be filling out your own applications, which in my humble opinion is a $10 per hour revenue? No. Should you be replying to emails, which in my opinion is a $10 revenue? No. Should you be making photocopies and doing other things? The answer is no. So you have to early on decide what is your income opportunity and what is your value. So I hired my first associate in my second year, which is why I led to my third year hitting MDRT. I used to make photocopies, fill out applications, do everything that's either $5 an hour work, $10 an hour, $20, and maybe $100 an hour work. Now, to be a successful entrepreneur, we need to focus on our value proposition and focus on the higher dollar values and not the lower values. And for your viewers to maybe ask this question, well, Rick, when should I hire someone? If I could go back into time, it's day one. Why day one? Because if we open up a restaurant, if we open up any type of business, you have to invest capital, right? To start a business. Now, when we join this industry, are we really investing capital to this amazing opportunity in our career? Most people are not. That's why you're a wantrepreneur and not an entrepreneur. Now, there are ratios. Statistically, a decent business, the average is you're supposed to invest 30% of your revenue back into hiring a team. Now, I prefer to use at least 40% so that my teammates are compensated well and they're happy and excited. But the truth is, we on average at Midas Wealth are spending close to 50% of our revenue on our cost. Why? Because we're projected for growth. So you have to think that way. So I don't know what your revenue is for your viewers, but just remember the average advisor spends 30% of the revenue back into their business, their team. 40% they spend back into for a better compensation area. And then about 50% is projected for growth. What about you, Lim? What is one area that you would like to share that you could go back into time for the viewers?
So I would do one thing. If I go back to where I'm from when I was 23, I think number one thing I would do is to actually upgrade my brain from the first day. You know, if I knew that the business was so lucrative, if anybody have told me earlier that the business is so lucrative, I should have put my time and effort into this, I would say the number one thing I would do is to actually focus and build on my brain. Why? Why would I say that? I'm so sorry. Let me just adjust this. Why would I say that? Because if you learn from day one, you become better and better and better. So what I did, my mistake was that I was not really serious in the business. I was not learning as fast as I can. And the first 2 years of my full time, I was doing just mediocrely. I could not do very well. But my boss, when I asked my boss, how could I do MDRT? The first thing he told me is to upgrade your brain. It is upgrade yourself. It is to read and read and read. So what I did from there is that I start reading a lot of books. I start reading Ben Feldman. I start reading The Legend of Malaysia. Is this guy called George Davin, who is a legend. I read books from Tony Gordon when I get a hold on. I read books from Geraldine from Taiwan, who is a master salesperson in Taiwan. So these are the things I read. So I improved myself so much. And from there, in half a year, I did my MDRT, by improving myself significantly from these books and learning those tricks onto the field. And I've managed to close enough cases to qualify for my first MDRT when I start upgrading myself. So to all the listeners out there, if you're still wondering whether reading books makes sense, yes, it makes total sense. If you do not read, it becomes your problem because you will never learn something new, right? You will never learn something new. So there's a question directly from Sadiq, from Mikilan Derani to me. What about those who don't like reading? Now, the like or don't like, that is up to you, whether you can read or cannot read. But let me just put it this way. There are some people who cannot read, who read and they fall asleep. I know a Court of the Table member, a good friend of mine, he said he's dyslexic. He cannot read. But he is a COT. But how did he start learning? He learned from YouTube. Every night, before he sleeps, he watched whatever insurance sales pitch or insurance sales kind of content on YouTube. So instead of watching stupid, simple, and short videos, he watched YouTube video to teach himself. So I think that is a way. If you cannot read, there's always a way. Listening to podcasts. The TOT TalkShow podcast is one of them. Listen to the MDRT podcast is one of them. If you cannot read, there is always other medium. When I started, there's no podcast. There's no YouTube. There's only books and cassettes and CDs. So what I did is I keep buying those cassettes and improve myself. So what is the second thing? What is the second thing that you did? You would do.
The second thing I did, if I could go back into time, second is finding work-life balance early. The MDRT philosophy is a whole person philosophy. Now, I want everyone to understand that you need to find work-life balance. There are many of our peers doing what we do that have a great career, but may not have a great personal life, great relationship with their spouse and their children because they don't have work-life balance. So let me explain to your viewers, which is a very common question I receive. Now, my teammates, my associates, on average, whether it's 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., they work on average 9 hours a day. Now, if you think about it, since we're the entrepreneur, and it's our company, if you were to ask me how many hours should we on average work at minimum, 10 hours. That's my minimum. So 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., 10 hours. But for some of you that maybe have family and have children and other responsibilities, right? 10 hours I think should be reasonable. But for others that may not, like when I was 21 years old, I can work 12 hours a day. I was working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But if you work not 12 hours, but 14 hours, 16 hours, and 18 hours a day, you'll get burnt out. You're going to start realizing that your business is falling apart or your personal life is falling apart. So having work-life balance early is very important. I'll give you an example. When I first hit MDRT, and it wasn't really difficult because I hired my first staff to help me do all the $10, $15, $20 an hour work so I could focus on the $100 an hour work, $200 an hour work. I got to MDRT. But then when I got to COT, quarter of the table, it was great. But I thought to go from quarter of the table to top of the table, which you have to double again, I thought I just have to work twice as hard. But how can I work from 10 hours to 20 hours? I can't. So what I teach people is you just got to work smarter, be more efficient with your time. If you are spending 10 hours a day at work, are you really working 10 hours? Are you talking to your colleagues? Are you checking Facebook, checking websites? If you are, you're not really working. So you have to be very efficient with time. One of the questions we received last time is not just working harder, because we at Midas Wealth write over 200 lives a year. As a matter of fact, last year we did 360 lives. If I want to double our corporation revenue, I'm not going to write 720 lives. No, the average case size just has to double. So my answer to everyone is finding work-life balance. We get to choose to work weekends if we want to. Just like we get to choose to not work weekdays. We get to choose to work weekdays, but not work weekends. So today, I don't work weekends. I don't work weeknights. I only spend about 8 to 10 hours per day on average, Monday through Friday, and I could take any day I want off. So work-life balance, very important. Lim, what about you?
So I think I agree with you. I think the second thing I will do is to delegate from the first day onward. So I think if you ask me, let me just put this on from Man Mohan, right? I'll answer this question a bit later. Right, if you ask me, what would I do if I first joined? I started hiring a staff after I first hit my MDRT, which is on the 4th year of my full-time business. And I started very late. Why? Because I thought I didn't have the money to do it. But actually you can, you know. So what I would ask you to do is that when I started hiring, you know, when I trying to do my first year MDRT, I had this idea. My boss, you know, everybody's managers have a secretary, right? So, but you can't use the secretary to do your personal thing, like filling out forms, claim forms and all that. You can't, because that's the culture of the Malaysian agency force, right? You cannot ask the secretary to do your personal things. She will help you to do some administrative work and all that, but not too personal of your the business that you're doing. So what I ask you is this: ask permission from your boss, your manager. If I could hire, say, Cheryl, you know, if Cheryl is my secretary, if I could hire Cheryl to do 2 hours of my business work after working hours, and I pay her, say, 500 ringgit, would it be fine with you? I tell you what, your boss will say, okay. Why? Because if you do well, he do well, right or not? And it doesn't clash with the work time. So the first thing, if you were to start now, if I were to go back, I will start paying my boss's secretary 200 ringgit to start doing some of my delegate some of my paperwork and get very efficient with life. 2 hours bound on your desk, fill out paperwork is 2 hours wasted not seeing a client, not calling a client, and not be in front of a client. Think about it. If you're making 10,000 a month ringgit, right? If you're making 10,000 ringgit a month, how much a day is the company paying you? It's about 400 ringgit, right? Out of, if you take out, what do you call this, weekends and all that, 500 ringgit. And if you sit behind a desk and fill out form for that 2 hours, you are earning less 100 ringgit for that 2 hours that you're sitting behind. So why not take that 200 ringgit, the 100 ringgit that you're not earning, and pay somebody else to do it? And you're paying 300, 400 ringgit. And just imagine you got 20% of your time back. And from 10,000, you could have increased your sales not to 12,000, but to 14,000, to 15,000, to 16,000. So delegation is one thing I will start doing if I go back in time.
That's awesome.
Yes. So what's the next thing? So next, the last thing you're going to do?
I think just to piggyback on what you just said, Lim, I think you just share with the viewers the difference between time and money. Understanding your time versus money, right? So exactly what you just said, like myself, today, I don't do any work that, in my humble opinion, is worth less than $1,500 US dollar per hour. So if you tell me to do file paperwork, send out emails, to do phone calls, I can do all those things. I was really good at it and I still am good at it. It's just not worth it for me, because if I don't focus on $1,500 an hour revenue-driven work, I cannot afford to pay my 9 team members their salary, to help them get their bonuses, to help them retire. So telling your viewers to understand their value and making sure they don't waste time on $10 an hour work when they can make $100 or $1,000 an hour work. That's right. The third thing I would share with viewers, if I could go back into time, is the idea of hiring a coach. Why is hiring a coach very important? Because think about it. Some of the most successful athletes, movie stars, people in the world all have a coach. Michael Jordan has a coach. Tiger Woods have a coach. You name the successful athlete, they all have a coach. Whether it's a personal trainer, whether it's a dietitian, whether it's someone to help them in their profession. So I would tell people to hire a coach. I don't know how many of the viewers have gotten to a point in their career where they believe they are getting bored, or their company or their corporation or their business is starting to flat. This is what we call premature retrogression. Premature retrogression, because their business, they don't realize this, is actually not going upwards, is actually going flat or even downwards. So hiring a coach is very important. Now, there are many different types of coach that you can hire. One is what we call an accountability coach. So for example, you may hire a coach that says, hey, Lim, you have to keep 20 meetings a week or 50 meetings a week, or you have to do this. Those are called what we call an accountability coach. Another type of coach is a psychological coach, such as making sure you think big. Can I hit MDRT? Can I hit quarter of the table? Can I hit top of the table? A psychological coach will unleash your mind and make sure you believe bigger than you truly believe. So that's the psychological coach. And the third type of coach is, in my opinion, something called an arts and skills coach. So we have many students that I coach around the country in America. And an example is one of my students was understanding the ratios of 10, 5, 3, 1. But the problem is when I looked at his meetings, he wasn't really 10, 5, 3, 1. He was like 10, 5, 3, half. And a lot of his meetings, the clients decide not to move forward with him. And after understanding his process, I had to help him change up his language, help him with some art and skills. He does everything right, 99% of the process, in my opinion, correctly. But when a client says, hey, I would like to implement this, I would like to move forward, I would like you to help me implement the financial plan, he says a few things that are actually quite negative. And because he does 99% of the process right, but that 1% he messes up, clients don't want to work with him because he's confusing them. So therefore, an art and skill coach. But even today, I work with a coach. Because you know why? I believe we need to have humility. Not one person knows everything in the world. We can always learn from others. So hiring a coach, whether it's an accountability coach, a psychological coach, or art and skill coach, can help you get to TOT easily. What about you, Lim? What is the third thing you would do if you go back in time?
I would say focus, focus, and again, focus. Why do you need focus? Because without focus, you can't do anything right? So let me just give you my example. What do you call this? My experience in my business. When I first started in full time when I was 23, so I did 2 years. You know, why did I take 3 years to hit MDRT into full time? Is because the first 2 years I was not focused. I was offered a job to sell a medical equipment by my cousin. So when I did that with him, I lost 6 months momentum selling medical equipments. And from there, he said, why don't you come in and join me as a GM? And I wrote a 50-page proposal to try to sell medical equipments for him as the boss. And luckily, he said no to the salary I asked. If not, I could have been working for him for life. Until now, I'm still driving a small car, right? So I think focus is very important. Now, the second experience of me not focusing is during 2015, 2016. That time, the insurance market had a change in structure. So we were saying, oh, the business is so bad, now commission, then we grumble, right? We complain. And then suddenly, and at that time, the property market was in a boom in Malaysia. So what I did is that I gang out with another friend and we start selling properties. And I tell you, we have not made any money from properties and we've lost money there. And it took away momentum again. It took away momentum for me to achieve COT or TOT. When I took that off from me and really focused back into our insurance sales, boom, 2017, I did my cut of the table. Again, focus. So recently, 2019, if some of you knew me, I have some online business. And that took away nearly 5 years of my focus. So I did my COT, but I was in this online business thing, selling insurance. Still, but yet again, it didn't help. So I did not focus on the business. So at 2018, 19, 20, I was doing that. Half of my time was doing this online business. The other half of the time I was doing this. And after the pandemic, everything is open up. I made up my mind. I said, enough's enough. I need to focus back into my insurance business. And 2020, September, I say, that's it. I'm going to cut. That's it. And that 3 months of focus into my insurance business, boom, TOT. Can you see the impact of focus? The impact of focus is so important. So to all the insurance guys out there, if you're selling insurance, please make sure you only sell insurance. Don't sell Nirvana lah, don't sell properties lah, don't try to sell what do you call this, gloves lah, you know, don't try to sell plastic bags. Don't do this. This is it, right? Not Rick. This is it. And if you ask me, of all this venture I've went through, none has made me money. And I've lost how much money? I've lost what? Nearly 300,000 through all these ventures that I've been into. And it is just plain stupid. I could have done 10 years TOT by now if I could have focused. Right? Back to you, Rick. Right? So,
great.
Yeah, anything to add to this,
Yeah,
Rick?
Exactly what you said. Focus, right? What are some things as an example that I do? So like I own real estate property. None of my tenants that are renting my real estate property know who I am. You're like, Rick, why not? Because I don't go there collecting rent. I give 10% of my rental income to a property manager. Another example, for example, we have a house, we have a big lawn. I can easily buy a lawnmower and start mowing my own lawn, but I do not do that. I hire a landscaping company to do that because the landscaping company might charge me $100 an hour when if we're making $1,000 or $2,000 an hour. Therefore, you need to understand, focus on the highest revenue driven work. So personally, my family and I have invested in many other businesses, other investment ventures in the past, but I do not allow it to take much time from my life because I'm a silent partner. I invest capital, but I do understand that this career is the greatest opportunity if you allow it to be for your future. So yeah, great point on focus.
Yes, great point of focus. Rick, there's one question for you. Let me just adjust. I'm having problem adjusting all my stuff here on the screen. Okay, let me just adjust. There is somebody who asked this question, which is pretty long. So now, are we good to take question now, Rick?
Yeah, let's do it. The internet's a little
catchy,
laggy from your end. Yep, but it's okay. We're going to do our best, and hopefully next month there's no more rain. Okay.
Okay. So what kind of basic guidelines and requirement you have in hiring staff? That is for you, Rick.
Sure. So one thing I would share with people that when it comes to hiring teammates or staff is have the same expectation in them as if you would have in yourself. What I mean by that is if you're not working hard, don't expect your staff to work hard. You need to lead from the front, not from the back. I've seen people that work 50 hours a week, and then when they hired their first assistant, you know what they do? They start working 40, 30, 20 hours a week, and they believe their assistant's going to replace them. If your associate's going to replace you, guess what? You're not an entrepreneur. You're a wantrepreneur, and your associate should make more money than you. So you still need to work the same amount of hours. You need to have the same amount of standards in the quality and ethics, work ethics of your life. Now, number one. Number two, your staff, your associates will not be 100% like you. You need to understand that they won't. I don't know how many people I've coached says, wait, I hired this person. They have to do the same things I do. Well, if they could do the same things you do, they could replace you, right? Realistically, if you can hire a staff member or an associate that can do 50% of what you were doing, that's a good associate. If they could do 70% of what you were doing, give them a raise. Give them a raise. They're an all-star. They're an all-star, right? Because once they get to 100% of what you're doing, you should give them equity in your business. You should give them equity in your business. Otherwise, they're going to replace you or they're going to leave and start their own business. So you need to, number one, still have the same work ethics and the same standards. Number two, you need to have realistic expectation on your team members. Because if you hire someone, I don't know, for $20 US dollar an hour and you expect them to do $100 US dollar an hour work, they're going to leave you, right? So it's just those two areas.
So I'm going to add on to this. What is the basic guideline or requirement for me? I have 6 staffs in my work. A lot of people ask, why do you need so many staff? In Malaysia, the hiring culture is not there. I can tell you, Rick, it is not there. I'm the first MDRT in my floor. I cannot say the whole company. In my floor, that hire a personal assistant. You know, and because I believe in that. Now I have 6 assistants helping me in various things like sales and marketing, recruitment, in customer service, in general insurance. I have a driver, these people actually help me. I have a power planner. Now, if you would ask me what is the basic guidelines, hire somebody who has done the business before. Means hire somebody who has done PA work and secretarial work for an agency before. So don't waste time and go and train another new person. If the person leave, if let's say you know somebody and she's leaving, don't pinch lah, don't pinch the person. If she's leaving another agency and she's because of some other problem, if you like her, if she is good at her work, hire her, give her a 20% raise and hire her over. And you could train all up, but it's going to take time. But hiring a person, a secretary from another agency or from another company is fine. She might leave for other reasons, so no problem. Just hire an experienced staff. It will help you a lot, right? So that is important. So the second question is, what books and audiobooks would you currently find inspiring? The MDRT Malaysia YouTube channel. Let me answer you this question. The MDRT Malaysia YouTube channel. Again, the MDRT Malaysia YouTube channel. All right. We have over 330 videos available there. Rick is one of our speakers. You can find him here. You can find me there. You can find Miss Mohan there. You can find Brian Hackett. You can find Tony Gordon. You can find Miriam Kwan. All these big names is there. So the MDRT Malaysia YouTube channel, if you're not subscribed to it, subscribe to it right now. And it's free, right? So why not subscribe to it? So questions. Now, guys, you can call us at this number if you want to call us. We will pick up your call and you can ask us questions. Call and ask us how. We'll pick up your call and we'll talk to you over live on the internet, and we will try to answer your question. All right. So let me just put on another few more questions from the viewers. If you have questions, please send them in. Don't be shy. Right. Let us see. Let me see the questions that I have in here. Some is written in Cambodian. I cannot read. So yes. Okay. Mikulan is asking, what would you recommend them at the start? Sorry, this is Sadiq Dirani. What would you recommend them at the start of their career? What kind of books would you recommend them? I tell you what, for Malaysian or for Asian, the first book I would recommend you to read is Josh Devon. I don't think you can find the book anymore, but you can actually see whether you can find a copy on Google, some PDF format or whatever. So the second book I would recommend you to buy and read, it is Tony Gordon's book. Right? Tony Gordon's book. Find it. You just type Tony Gordon ebook. Hundreds of results will come out and you can actually read it there. Right? So, Rick, what would you recommend them to read first?
I would recommend them books in the US. I'm not sure it's available in Asia. But the easiest is if your viewers go to whether it's the Global Connect or MDRT meeting, if they hear a speaker that they love, go buy that person's book. Because there's a lot of things, whether they speak for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, that they're not able to explain it all, their process, and just read their book. But there are many books in our industry when it comes to understanding the ratios of our business. So in America, the Al Granum book is what I learned in training. And that's where I understood the 10-5-3-1 ratios. But once again, although 10-5-3-1 is a research that was created and studied and found about 50 years ago, it's not, in my humble opinion, true today, because back then there was no LinkedIn. Back then there was no cell phones. Back then there was no internet. So as long as you understand the ratios, the formulas of our career, and you work on whether you're not good at the 5 level, the 3 level, or the 1 level, you improve them, you can hopefully increase your odds or statistical efficiency from 10, 8, 7, 6, like I talked about earlier.
All right. So as usual, as before, I'd like to remind you, you can call us now at this number, right? Call us now at this number. We will try to pick up your call and answer your question. 016-238-6161. Don't be shy. We don't bite, all right? We won't shout at you. So to answer Natalie, it is not Tony Borden, it's Tony Gordon. Tony Gordon, okay? Fine, Tony Gordon. Now, next question for Esther Hu. Rick, the key factors to maintain work-life balance of you. What is your key factor to maintain work-life balance?
Great. Be very religious with your schedule and time. So if a client says, Rick, would you, when I was 21, 22 years old, I remember I had a lot of restaurant owners that said, hey, I finished my restaurant at 9 p.m. at night. Can you see me at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m.? I would say, yeah, sure. But then that was ruining my personal relationship with my girlfriend at that time. That was ruining my personal relationship with my parents if I had dinner with them that night. So I would say today, no. And it's very easy by saying, well, Lim, I appreciate the fact that you get off at 9 o'clock at night and you want us to meet. But unfortunately, like you probably may understand, I have family responsibility and obligation. If I keep meeting you at 9 o'clock at night, my wife will divorce me. My kids will leave me. My parents will disown me. And you wouldn't want to work with someone that has a personal life that is all ruined, would you?
Yeah.
But if it's okay, what I like to do is I'm happy to accommodate, but do you see your doctor at 9 p.m. at night, 10 p.m. at night? Oh, no, you don't. Why? You would take half a day off to go see them. Well, I would tell you, just as important as seeing your doctor, it's just as important to see your wealth management advisor. So I explained to them, so my hours generally are 7 a.m. to like 5 p.m. Let's just say 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. If they can't work and meet me within my hours, then they normally would accommodate by saying, okay, I'll take an hour lunch break. Let's meet then. Do Zoom, face-to-face, or whatever the time. If they prefer a night meeting, I would say, well, I have 3 other team members that are client-facing. You can meet someone else on my team that, based on their work-life balance, they're willing to meet you at night or meet you on a weekend. But I personally would say no. I don't care if they're going to invest $1 million, $10 million, or even $1 billion on me. Why? Because if I'm divorced and my kids leave me and my parents disown me, I'm ruined. So therefore, I have a very, very religious schedule that I generally don't even sway from. And I'm okay to turn away clients, right? Because in New York City alone, there's 8.5 million New York City people. Let's just think about that. See, an average advisor can bring on 50 clients a year. Now, to be frank, at Midas Wealth, we bring on average 300 lives every year. 300 lives. And let's say I'm 36 years old today. And if I work till I'm 66, the next 30 years, I'm only supposed to work with 9,000 people. So 8 million people and 9,000 people, that's about 1%. That's about 1%, actually less than 1% if you think about it, right? So it's okay to say no to people. If client says, I have to meet you at night, I have to meet you on weekend, I respect that, but unfortunately, I can't work with you because I don't want to be divorced and have my kids leave me. So respectfully, maybe we should either try to accommodate each other and find a mutual schedule that may work, or if not, I could refer you to another advisor that can work with you. And that actually people respect you more because you think the most successful entrepreneurs, business owners, people in the country, in the world, are actually meeting people at 10 o'clock at night, midnight, weekends? No, there's no successful person I know that is willing to accommodate someone else if they're very successful. And the more you understand work-life balance, the more successful you will be. As soon as I started getting religious with my schedule, and I promise I did not change it, guess what? More clients want to meet me in my schedule. More business came. And quite frankly, my wife and I and our family work-life balance relationship became even better. And I'm happier. And I'm not burnt out. I'm not tired and things like that.
Yeah, one of the things I learned from, I totally agree with you, Rick. You know, I have clients who actually try to make an appointment with me, and I can hear the wife saying, hey, ask him to come on Sunday lah. Ask him to come on Sunday lah. No, Sunday lah, ask him come. You know what the client says to him? Hey, he don't work on Sunday one, so forget it. Hey, can you come on Monday, bro? You see, my clients tell his wife, he doesn't work on Sunday, all right? Let's see him on Monday. That's the thing.
That means they respect you. That means they respect you. They start understanding you're not a visitor, right? The more they respect you, the more they will be willing to accommodate your schedule. You don't have to accommodate theirs.
Correct. So for me, to balance out work-life balance, you must be intentional in your time management. So like for me, I have something called the Kids Day Out. Kids Day Out means every week I'll spend 4 hours of my time with one kid. There's only 2 rules to the thing. To the date out is that my child, I have 4 kids. That particular child gets to choose what to eat and get to choose what to do. Me, I have nothing to say. I just bring him. So he said, Pa, I want to do ice skating and you're coming with me. And that's it. I'm going to bruise my knee doing it with him, with her. So I've done ice skating. I've done ribbon dancing. I have done extreme sport with my eldest son. I've done bowling, everything. But that 4 hours belongs to them. My time is that. So work-life balance means being totally intentional. I have a date night with my wife every Saturday from 7 to 10 o'clock. We will go out listening to jazz music, live music and all that. Be totally intentional. It is in my diary. You know, my family time is in my diary. Even my mother's tea time every week. I bring her out, you know, having coffee, unless she doesn't want to, you know. But normally she will want to. I'll bring her out for coffee. I'll talk to her one-to-one. That's it. I spent intentional time with them. So if you want work-life balance, manage your diary like a Bible. It is non-compromisable. That's it. Manage it. Yep. You ask my secretary. My secretary doesn't tell me, you know, boss, there's somebody 11 o'clock wants to Zoom with you. It doesn't happen. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Block out your work life,
yes,
like your personal life.
Yeah.
Schedule it. Schedule it and just say, I'm sorry, that time slot is not available. I know a lot of people that are MDRT, COT, TOT. They don't have work-life balance, and frankly, they're lost. I can tell. Every time I talk to them, they're like, yeah, I hit TOT again. And I say, why'd you look so sad? Because they realize they're even more lost. They're chasing something that is sacrificing other things that are more important. If you hit TOT and you don't find work-life balance, you need to learn work-life balance.
True. So the next question, Rick, how to overcome when lack of focus? You want to take that?
Sure. I don't remember the first monthly we started by saying we're going to be honest, transparent, and raw. I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to be honest. How to overcome lack of focus? Stop being so selfish. That's it. Stop being so selfish. What I mean by that is not saying people are selfish. It's just mentally they choose to take things that are easier than harder. Now, I'll give you a great example. If tomorrow morning I was supposed to wake up at 6 a.m. and run 3 miles, right? Tomorrow morning happens, it's cold outside, my bed is warm, I have to go outside, run 3 miles. I might be selfish and go, no, I'm just gonna sleep in because my bed is warm and outside is cold and I don't wanna run 3 miles at 6 a.m. But imagine tomorrow morning, I have Lim waiting for me at the racetrack at 6 a.m. to run 3 miles. Even though tomorrow morning is still cold outside and my bed is still warm, but I'm not selfish. I don't want Lim to be there at 6 a.m. by himself and get mad at me, so I'll be there. So if you lack focus, it's because you let your mind overcome what's more important, right? So don't let your mind control you. You need to control your mind. So how do I stay focused? Because every single thing I do have a purpose, a mission, right? I wake up every single day with a true purpose. I know my why. My company's name, Midas Wealth, is named after my son, Midas. If you were to ask me, would I ever lose focus? No, it's my son's name on the wall. If I waste time, if I'm not efficient with what I'm supposed to do, I'm disappointing myself, my family, my kids, my legacy, and my potential. So if you can't focus, you need to understand, create areas or an environment that will make you focus better. But most people that can't focus or follow through with their promise and commitment is simply because they're selfish. I used to coach a student of mine, and I say I used to because I fired that student. They were, I want to hit MDRT, COT, TOT. And I taught them everything. But every time I tell them something, they say, I'll do it. And then 1 month later, they don't do it. I said, why didn't you do it? And then they say, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a difference between an excuse and a reason. A reason makes sense. An excuse is anyone can use it. So I explained to them, I said, you're just selfish. You're just selfish. Because if I made a promise, I need to commit to it. I need to follow through with it. But if I don't follow through with it, it's not a promise. It's a hope. It's a hope. And I don't hope anything. I set goals and I execute.
True. You know, if I'm the guy who lacks focus throughout my life. But I think the number one thing that makes me what brings me back, right, is self-awareness. You must aware. you must always be aware of your situation and not be dragged into it. And nowadays, there's so many fake gurus, fake business, fake things going around telling you can make so much money here, you can make so much money there, put your time here, put in time here. I don't know how many times I've been invited to direct sales meetings. I keep telling these guys, hey, can you stop? I do not want to go to these meetings because it's gonna waste my time, it's gonna waste your time. If I need the product, I'll buy from you. I guarantee. If I meet anybody who wants to do the business, I'll recommend it to you. But yet again, stop going to all these meetings. Stop be friendly to people. Okay lah. My client asked me to go. I give face. In Asia, pay me. You know what is it, right? Yep. Yeah, pay me. Let's go and do this. You can decline politely and save to trouble. Focus, and be aware of what you're doing, right? So, Esther asked,
every time you say yes to everyone, I think most people are considered people pleaser. They want everyone in the world to like them. But if you say yes to everyone, you're saying no to others. So you need to learn the word no. Yep. When I was young, 21 to 25, I used to say yes, even if I don't want to. Because I want everyone to like me, people pleaser. But that's because I wasn't mature enough to understand the importance of time. So I say a lot of no's, and I only say a very few amount of yes. And when I say yes, it just means that person is special or it's worth my time. So you're absolutely right, Lim. Focus and learn to say no.
Focus and learn to say no. Correct. So next question, Esther. Thanks, Esther, to be such active in the chat room. Keep it coming. Keep all the questions coming. We will do this until 10 o'clock. 10, is it right? Good for you, Rick?
Is it yep, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, that's it.
Yeah, I have no more meetings back to back today. 10 o'clock is my next meeting, yes.
I have work-life balance. I need to cut off at 10 o'clock. Yes. At 10 o'clock, we will finish, but you can keep your question coming. You can call me on my phone. I will pick it up. Sorry, not my phone. That number is. Call me in this phone number. We will pick it up for you, all right? And ask us a question. You want to talk to us online, please call us. Now, what will be your piece of advice for new financial planners who are young, lack of network, but extremely want to be successful financial planners like both of you? Okay, new financial planners who are young, lack of network, but extremely want to be like us. What is your advice? Rick, take that.
Sure. Well, first of all, you have to, number one, stop thinking negative. When I see that question, financial planners who are young, when you look at Lim, do you know how old he is? No. When you look at me, do you know how old I am? No. Right? You can't really tell if you're young or not young. I used to think, oh my God, I'm 21 years old. I'm so young. People may or may not want to work with me. That's not true. It's how are you acting, right? So I have an advisor in my firm who is who's older than me. I'm younger than that person, but you know what? I act mature. I act wise. I carry myself in a professional manner. So it doesn't matter your age. I promise you, right? Because the truth of the matter is, unfortunately, I don't know about Asian society in Malaysia. I know in America, a lot of Asians think this. The older you are, the more successful you are. Not true. Lim, if you had to get open heart surgery, do you want the 90-year-old heart surgeon that his hands are shaking maybe? Or the 30-year-old surgeon that win all these awards and save all these lives? I want the 30-year-old. So age is not a factor. Is whether or not you believe you have what it takes regardless of your age, number one. So age is not a factor. Number two, if you lack network, it's easy. Go build your network. Go build your network. There's so many different ways, right? I'm an only child. I had very little friends growing up, but I have one of the biggest network because I made an attempt and I understood how to build a relationship. So whatever you're lacking, you can overcome it by pursuing it, trying, and working towards it.
Right, fantastic. So the question, let me just put it back. The question, where is it? Oh my God, somebody called me just now, but it's not from the caller. What is the piece of new financial advisors? I think as Rich says, age is not an issue. You just have to believe and just do it. Let me just put it this way: focus and just do it. Learn, shorten your success path by learning a lot from what we are gathering for you. All this MDRT YouTube channel and all that. learn as fast and as soon as possible. One thing for young people, stop watching TikTok. Stop watching short, simple, stupid videos. Stop fooling around. Mature up.
Yep.
Be the man.
Yep.
Be the woman. Learn, and focus, and do it. You know. So don't give yourself any excuses.
If I may just interject, Lim, Esther, great question. Lack of network. Now, if I asked you or ask a young advisor, hey, how much people do you have in your network? They say 20. And I tell them, now just try this out. I tell them, okay, at the end of this weekend, if you could come up with 10,000 people in your network, names, Facebook, LinkedIn, WeChat, whatever it may be, I will give you 1 million USD dollars. Do you think they'll do it? They will do it. They will do it. Because you know why? Even though they lack resources, they started letting their mind problem solve and become resourceful. It's about abundant thinking. Okay. So therefore, lack of network, being young, all those things, right? It's your mind. Whatever you can believe, whatever you can conceive, you can believe, you can achieve. Remember that.
Right. Well said. Let's go to the next question. All right. Let's just take, Azari has a question and Mickey has a question. Let's take Azari's question first. I'll take that first. Okay. How do you maintain and become TOT every year? Is it is it that you grow with your clients? That is absolutely right. We grew with our clients. I was TOT 1 year. I didn't. Let me repeat next year and then I'll tell you why. Okay, now, but I was COT for 4 years and I was MDRT for 12 years. Do you grow with a client? Partly correct. I grew with my client. 6-7 years ago when I had a driver, I was the only guy among my clientele that has a driver. So I feel weird. Today, I'm the only guy without a driver. Can you see the difference? My client grew faster than me, but I did not have a driver because of MCO, because of the lockdown. But I rehired a driver this month. Actually, I have a driver back. So I bought a new car. Yeah. Anyway, to answer your question, our client grew. You know, that analogy is to tell the client grew, but more importantly, we maintain TOT, COT, MDRT by expanding the like-minded ideal client that we want. What is an ideal client? For me, my ideal client would be a contractor, 45 years old and above, love his family, and has a net income, the company revenue of 20 million and above. That is an ideal client for me. And also medical doctors and medical professionals. So what I did is that I expand these two type of ideal clients and get to know more of the kind. So the same kind of people will flock together. If they are contractors, they will flock together. And you go and join the activities and expand that network. So instead of 1, 2, I wait for this 2 person to grow rich, I look for 10. And they grew rich together. And from there, my business and my case grew bigger. Today, I closed quite a big case. I closed a case, the client gave me 175,000 ringgit premium. Where did this guy came from? It came from that ring of contractor who get to know me so well and they want to put some business with me. They trust me that I can do a good job for them. So grow with a client, but more importantly, expand the ideal clientele. You want to take this, Rick, give them some ideas?
How do you maintain TOT every year as you grow with your clients? You must grow yourself. I remember when I was new in the business, my goal was to hit MDRT. So my third year at 20, I think it was like 24 years old or 25 years old, I hit MDRT. Now this year, when I'm 36 years old, I hit MDRT in the first month. In my first month, I hit MDRT in 1 month. Back then, it took me 1 whole year to MDRT. Why is it today I can hit MDRT in 1 month? It's because I grew, right? You have to invest in yourself. Every year, I spend hundreds of hours reading books, listening to podcasts, getting better. Every year, I look at my business and my revenue. For example, last year, we had our best year ever. I took 70%, if not more, of our increased revenue, and I hired more teammates. I hired a CFP, a CPA. I'm hiring talented people to grow our team. My team is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm compensating my team more money, right? So you need to understand, if you stay the same and never grow, your clients will outgrow you. If you grow, your clients grow, you might grow together. But if you grow and your clients don't grow, you need to understand, hey, maybe possibly still work with those clients, but you need to think outside the box, right? So I remember when I was a new advisor, my average client income was 100,000 USD. Today, my average client income is $1 million USD. All right. And then people are like, well, how did you get there? It's very easy. You just work with people that are always up there. What I'll share with you an example. People like to go back to what they're comfortable with. Most people, average people, like to stay where they're comfortable. Successful people like to be uncomfortable.
True.
To be uncomfortable. Think about that.
True. My wife always tell me one thing. My wife always tell me, you always look for something that is outside your comfort zone to do. Like during this MCO, this lockdown, I learned how to do Facebook Live. And now look at us. We can do this pretty much professionally, right? So pick up the next question. Successful people always pick up something to do, right? Something hard to do. Now, Mickey, let's take Mickey's question. How to step up the game and get to know high-level clients and what the taboo to avoid when interacting with them. Rick, you want to start this?
Sure. Become the high net worth client. If you want to work with someone, you need to understand them. You need to learn from them. You need to respect yourself and respect them. Now, you have to understand, when you work with higher net worth clients, it's a very different process than working with maybe lower income or lower net worth clients.
Yeah.
Lower net worth, lower income clients, they're probably not 10 different advisors calling them. You may be the only person calling them. So it's an easier process. They may become your client, but you're going to get the results because you work with those type of clientele. Now, when you work with someone that's maybe 100 times higher than the lower income or the lower net worth client, now you have to understand, everyone is calling them. Everyone wants to work with them. What differentiates yourself? Well, I'll tell you this. We at Midas Wealth, statistically, 99.9% of the time when I go into competition, we do not lose. I remember I had a client, he worked with his brother and he chose me over his brother. I had another client, she worked with her mother. She chose me over her own mother. Well, it's not because I'm their family member, blood related or not, because I am better knowledge-wise. I help them with their tax efficiency. I help them grow their wealth. I help them protect their assets. Everything I teach them mathematically, logically, educational-wise makes more sense because our team is just better, right? So if you want to work with higher net worth clients, you have to get better. So who are some people we work with? We work with movie stars. We work with entrepreneurs. We work with Fortune 500 company executives, right? 10, 15 years ago, I never thought I would work with them. But today I realized they're just like us. They're just like us. As a matter of fact, those people are nicer, in my humble opinion, than some of the lower income, lower net worth clients, because they're more serious. They understand what we do and they want us to help them, right? Because they're willing to have the best people help them, support them, right? So like myself, my wife and I will spend any amount of money to hire a landscaper, any amount of money to hire a moving company, to do whatever we need done. Like my window treatment, I pay 30,000 US dollar to put curtains and shades in my house. I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in US dollar in furniture, but I want the best, because the highest net worth clients, they don't care about price, they care about the best. But the question is, are you the best? If you're not the best, they're not going to work with you. So it's not them, it's you if you want to work with them.
I agree with Rick. I just agree with you, right? I was struggling to buy a car recently, whether I should buy a LX or should buy a Alphard, And Rick told me one thing, and I just went and bought a car next day. He said, you must buy a black Alphard with a driver, which I hired a driver, dress him up, in black suit, and he will open the door for you every time you see a client. So I did exactly the same. I bought a black Alphard, the highest spec I can find. I have the driver in already, and I just made him 2 sets of 2,000 ringgit suits. And that's it. You know, sometimes you just don't have to be too smart. You just listen to people who is more successful than you and just get it done. Now, let's just take the next question. How to prospect, how to make prospect respect us better as professional businessmen and not as a salesman. I think, let me just take this. I think, Ricky, if you're listening now, my clients respect me as who I am. The insurance guy, the insurance agent, the whatever they want to call me, the insurance agent, financial plan. To me, it doesn't matter. For me, I'm his friend. I'm a person who is genuinely and sincerely interested in his family and his welfare. That's it. So if you want a prospect to respect you as a professional, act like one. Stop selling because you have to sell. Stop going to clients and ask, you know what, boss, I need this case. I need to close out the quarter. I need to close out the year. I need to fight for MDRT. I need to fight for tickets. Come on. Whether you achieve MDRT or not is not his problem, right? It is your problem. If you go down that low and beg people for business, how are you expect people to respect you? How many times can he say, okay lah, I help you? How many times? Not many times you can say that, right or not? But if you go back 2, 3, 4 times doing the same thing, you will lose respect of this client. And he thinks that you are just like any other agents who keep asking for business and not interested in me. So do you know that I do not ask business from clients to hit my target. I ask them to do that. I ask them to sign on the dotted line for their own good and for their family's good. How stressful I am, I will never say, sign it because I need the target. No. Sign it. It is only if you think it is beneficial to your clients, to your family. That's it. That's my prospect. Anything to add to that, Rick?
Exactly what you said, Ricky. For prospects to respect you, you need to respect yourself. Think about it. And the perfect example, professional businessman, but not as a salesman. Is your process salesy? If your process salesy, even if you want to be a professional businessman, you're a salesman, right? Yep. So an example I would use is if you needed heart surgery, right? Would your heart surgeon come to you and try to sell you to get heart surgery? No, they'll just say, Lim, you need heart surgery based on your heart situation. If you don't get a heart surgery by this end of this week, you're just might 95% die. That's it, right? Like, so when I meet with clients, I never ever think about me. It's always objective. It's not subjective. So like if you go into a meeting and say, oh, Lim is married, have 4 kids, I know what I'm going to recommend him. You're already wrong. You're already thinking like a salesman. As a matter of fact, I go into every meeting with no agenda, no subjective thinking. I just say, Lim, tell me what are your goals? Tell me what are your concerns? What do you want to achieve financially for your family? He tells me everything. And all I do is teach, teach, teach. I spend hours teaching Lim about financial laws, tax laws, legal laws. I teach him how my family are able to achieve this. I tell him how by the time I was 30 years old, my revenue is over $1 million. By the time I'm 35 years old, my net worth is over 10 million US dollars. I teach them all this stuff, right? And then because I'm teaching and they understand it, they respect it. And honestly, I don't even think about if Lim is going to work with me or not. I just say, I'm going to teach everything. And then most of the time, when you wholeheartedly give your best to educate, help people, just help people. Don't think about the results. They actually say, hey, Rick, I want to work with you. Can you help and teach me more? And then they will work with you. So that's my answer, right? I'll give you another example. When I was growing up, and this is Asian culture, and I'm writing a book about this stuff. When I was growing up, my dad and my mom, and there's no disrespect, made me call all their friends auntie and uncle. Auntie and uncle. So like when you call someone auntie, uncle, or boss, let's say we're all human beings. We should mutually respect each other. But if you call someone auntie and uncle or boss, you know what you just did? Boop, you put them on a higher level than you. That's why they talk down on you and you talk up to them. Instead of calling auntie and uncle, I just go Mr. Lim, Mr. Like, right? You could be mutually respectful. Does Jack Ma, Alibaba founder, call everyone in his company that's older than him auntie and uncle? Or do you think they call him Mr. Ma? He might call them Jack. They might call him Jack, and he might call them by their first name because it's mutual respect. But so I'll tell you this: when I go to Chinese New Year dinner, when I go to family dinners, if my dad and my mom introduce me to their friends, I say, "Nice to meet you." I just stick out my hand. I don't need to call them auntie and uncle. Why? Because they're older than me. I have to respect them. What is it that's so respectful? What if they're a bad person? I don't want my 3 young kids growing up saying someone is older. I must respect them, listen to them. Okay. So the point I want to share with you is the way you carry yourself. Today, when I go into a restaurant, when I go to a work event, I talk to everyone mutually respectful. But respect is not demanded, it's earned. We mutually respect each other. I don't even talk. I don't even talk much. I just listen. So if you want to be respected, you must act respectable.
Well said, Rick. So last question. 1 more minute to go. Now, if you want to describe our profession in 1 sentence, I wonder how would you describe our profession? Let me just put it this way. I've done a hell of a claims recently, death claims, CI claims. I have 2 clients is still in and out of hospital due to cancer. I have a 3rd one that is coming. I've got a COVID claim of nearly 100,000 ringgit on my desk, which we submitted. I tell you, and I just came back from a funeral yesterday. A client just died. 6 years ago, I knew him. We did something for him. He died. You know what happened? The night before the funeral, I was there at the funeral parlor, and there sit a banker, right? You know what the banker told the wife and also the business partner next to him? You know what? I think Mr. Lee, Mrs. Lee, I think Mr. Lee died without a will or with a will. Your account will be frozen 6 months, da-da-da. You'll take an LA to unfreeze it, da-da-da. Then the partner asked, how about cash? We need to pay our staff and our workers on site and all that. You know what did the guy say? The guy said, you could have taken a loan from us. We will think about it, whether we want to extend our loan to you. But at the meantime, you have to think of a way to get cash. You know what I did on that table? I leaned over to Mrs. Lee and just whisper in her ear. This is exactly what I said. Mrs. Lee, I've got over 1.5 million cash ready for you. Give me 10 days. It will be banked into your account. Give me 10 days. I will bank into your account. In fact, I will take 5 days, I'll tell you. That is what we do. If you want to describe our profession in 1 sentence, it is to be the cash creator. We are the only guy in a funeral that delivers cash while others take cash away. That's it. Be proud of what we do. Be extremely proud of what we do. We are the only person that create cash from thin air and deliver it to the family and make sure they continue to live with dignity when this kind of thing happens. So the banker, he said, make money from me. What happens? They came and take money. The accountant came and take money. The supplier came and take money. Everybody came and take money. The insurance guy he doesn't want to see came and delivered money. That's it. We are a cash creator. We help families in the worst time. Rick, back to you.
2 words. Selfless servant. Selfless servant. People may not appreciate what we do every single day, but as long as you believe in what you do and you continue to go out there and serve selflessly, people will believe. People will respect. And what we do is such amazing work. Selfless servant. I've delivered over 10 death claims in my career, over a dozen disability claims, too many. I help my clients achieve their dreams, but I also am there for their good times and their bad times. Selfless servant. Selfless servant.
Good time
Great.
and bad time. So we have come to the end of our show. If you like us, please give us a like in our show, Limited Life. If you do want to visit us and keep coming back to the show, I promise you that 2 parts of the show, I'll make it back together and feature it on our YouTube channel. So sorry about the power shortage, okay? Like Limited Life, you can go to my YouTube channel and like my show there. I promise you we will start rolling out the TOT Talk Show in another week or so, and we will inform all of you. So like the page, like the YouTube channel, and hopefully in time to come, we will create more amazing content for all of you, right?
Have a great month, everyone, and feel free to send questions, and we'll have more amazing content and topics next month. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.